The gospel we have just listened to retains the Lord's command as the goal and climax of the whole text. The Old Testament does not command revenge, even when it says eye for an eye, but sought to curb unrestrained violence. Jesus called for his disciples to reject absolutely even the principle of retaliatory violence as well. At the time Jesus was born, the Jewish jurists thought they had achieved a lot. Instead of with the one eye for one eye, they had eliminated the possibility of 4 eyes for 1 eye, especially for those who were stronger. The command not to resist the evil one is unqualified. Matthew's perspective here is the conflict of the kingdoms. There is a conflict between the kingdom of God, which has been ushered in with his birth and ministry, and the kingdom of evil. This perspective takes evil seriously, but does not consider it ultimate. The eschatological kingdom breaking in with Jesus embraces the enemy. Jesus' command not to resist the enemy goes beyond just passive resistance. It involves positive action in the interest of the aggressor. Superficially, the 5 examples don't seem to fit together. The first 3, that is, being slapped in the face, being sued in court, and being dragged into a short-term compulsory service, all have the one thing in common, that one is victimized by a powerful other. In the last 2 ones, help is sought by others, a beggar and a borrower, one who wants to borrow. In Matthew's perspective, the common denominator is aggression and pressure from other people who interfere with one's own private, or you may call it selfish, pursuits. What is called for, especially for those who belong to the kingdom of God, is a response that favors the good and the need of the other, the aggressor, and not one's rights. Very often, we like to remain in what is my right, I must get it. Jesus is calling on his disciples, even in the face and confrontation with evil, with aggression, to consider what are the needs of the aggressor, and our response be directed towards that. We see in our first reading what I may call the implementation of Jesus' demands by one of his disciples, St. Paul. He is conscious of belonging to the kingdom of God and not the kingdom of the evil one. St. Paul commends himself to the Christians in Corinth and commends also his ministry of reconciliation. He urges the Corinthians not to receive the grace of reconciliation in vain, and for him, reconciliation is equivalent to justification. It is the acceptable time of fulfillment, and they need to collaborate with him as he notably works with God. We have here a whole list of hardships which calls for patience, endurance, fortitude, perseverance. This is to stress his apostleship as one of service to others and not self-service and self-aggrandizement. The Christian must live in this world but refuse to be governed by the values of this world. For St. Paul, the crucial message is this: people have value because Christ died for them, including all of us. We must not establish hurdles that people have to cross before we give value to them. Unless they think like me, unless they do what I want, unless they belong to the same denomination as I am, I don't value them. There is a delicacy about love. It is fullest and richest when it is most free. When all the trappings of compulsion are gone. We can only say we love someone when we eliminate any semblance of coercion or manipulation in their life. Why do bad things happen to good people? My dear brothers, I'm sure you have had occasion as pastors to answer this question many times. This is our question as human beings. For St. Paul, it was not a question at all. Faith, when it is genuine, does not serve as a protection from hard times or difficulties. The gospel is not a seal against difficulties. Rather, faith, that is, our trust in God, becomes the assurance that God is for us through tough and good times. As we recall in St. Paul's message in Romans 8, 35 to 39. If God is for us, who can be against us? And nothing, not even persecution and death, can separate us from the love of God.